Hi, everyone. Happy Friday afternoon. It is On Air Live, noon Central Standard Time. We're coming to you from Sky in New York City. Katy Lloyd will be giving us some root action today. Super excited. I'm going to turn it over to Katy, but please hop in the room and we'll chat away. Talk to you soon.
Start to deepen your breath. Pull your inhale all the way down to the bottom of your lungs. Let it expand out in all directions, all the way through your shoulders. Open your mouth. Exhale. One more deep breaths like that. Fill up as much as you can in all directions. Overflow your lungs. Rush your breath out all the way down until you go to the floor of your belly. Deep breath. Seal your lips. Breathe in and out through your nose. Different breath than that. Ujjayi Pranayama. Ujjayi breathing. You take during the flow of Pranayama. Inhale up to your hands and knees. Exhale, tuck your chin to your chest. Scoop your tailbone under. Round your back up towards the ceiling, just like a cat. Feel your shoulders, feel your hands anchor down. Inhale, drop your belly down. Look up, tuck your tailbone up. Exhale, tuck and round. And move in that direction until all your breath comes out. Inhale, drop your belly down. Let your lungs open up. Exhale, tuck and round. This deep breath in and out from your knees. It's about 3 to 5 seconds just to fill up. 3 to 5 seconds to empty all the way out. It's a deeper, more expanded breath. From the very lowest part of your belly, all the way to your ribs. You're deep breathing in and out through your nose. With that exhale, find your cat spine, hold it there, round between your shoulders, anchor down through your hands. Inhale, straighten your left leg, bring your left foot behind your right foot. Inhale, sweep your left arm up, supported side plank. So plant that inner seam of your left foot to the mat, and sweep your left arm to the ceiling. So you stand on your right. Sweep your top arm up and overhead. Exhale, plant both hands, just like a cat. Press the ground away from you, hug your belly in, press all your air out. Inhale, change sides. Sweep your right leg long. Wave your right arm up and overhead. Exhale, plant both hands. Round to your spine. Just like a cat till all the breath comes out. Inhale, move over to that right hand. Sweep your left arm long. Open up to your left side. Exhale, plant your hands. So you start to feel that rhythm of your breathing. Inhale, onto your left palm. Open up, fill up. Exhale, tuck and round. A few rounds side to side like this, just to start to really feel yourself waking up all the tissue in your lungs. Maybe for the first time actively waking up your respiratory system. Next time you plant both of your hands, drop your knees to the ground, tuck your toes under and lift your knees just 1 to 2 inches. Continue to grow that deep, active breath. Get all the air out every time you exhale. That emphasizes and activates that vasovagal stress relief response. Lift your knees 1 more inch from where you're at and feel that movement in your ribs, that swell of your back. Deep, steady breath. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. Shake your head out. Feel the weight of your head in your spine. Pull your feet over. It's a Durga breathing, 3-part breath. For your nervous system, for your body, get that diaphragmatic movement. Keep up 2 more deep breaths in your head up. Feeling your hips, feeling your palms. With your exhale, walk your hands all the way back to your feet. All the way back until you feel your heels drop. Inhale, look up halfway and gaze out towards that movement. Lengthen your spine. Exhale, fold forward, bend your knees, bring your belly up towards your thighs, tuck your chin. Inhale, roll all the way up to standing. Reach your hands high overhead. Press down for your feet to reach up. Exhale, take a side bend over to your right. Gently pull on your left wrist with all that length. Inhale, reach up, root down to rise. Exhale, bend and empty, almost like a C shape with your upper body. Inhale, stand up, look up, open up. Exhale, fold forward over your legs. Fold until all your breath comes out. Inhale, crawl yourself forward at the top of your push-up. Pull your body into one long line. From your heels all the way up to your chest. Press down into your open hands. 3 deep active breaths. Just like when you were making that cat and cow movement, press into your hands to feel your shoulder blades bound up towards the ceiling. That strong shoulder girdle. Reach your chest forward and press back to your heels. Use the fronts of your thighs. Deep, even breath. Exhale, lift your hips up and back. Downward facing dog. Take a couple breaths. Full inhales, full exhales. Feel that diaphragmatic movement. You feel that steady breath through your nose. Exhale, walk your hands all the way back to your feet to your hips up. Inhale, halfway up, fill up, flood your lungs. Exhale, fold in, all your breath comes out. Inhale, roll all the way up your standing, sweep your arms high. Exhale, side bend over to your right. So every movement gets its own breath. Inhale to reach up, keep reaching to your lungs overflow, and then exhale, you side bend over to your left side, all the way up. Inhale, stand up, you open your arms, push your sternum. Exhale, dive over your legs, tuck your chin and release your neck. Inhale, walk your hands forward, top of your push-up. You can hold this for 3 really full breaths like you just did, bearing the weight of your body, opening your hands, feeling your shoulders. Or if you're willing, exhale, bend your elbows, lower halfway down, honor up your knees. Inhale, pull your chest up and through your arms, honor the tops of your feet and stretch your belly. Exhale, downward facing dog. Lift your hips up and back. At least a couple really full rounds of breath. Last exhale, crawl your hands back all the way to your feet. Inhale, halfway up. Exhale, fold. Inhale, rise up, roll up. Exhale, take your side bend. Moving at the rhythm of your deep, deliberate 3-part yoga breath. Inhale helps you expand and open. Exhale helps you bend and empty. All these movements start in your lungs. Let that inhale open your body up. That exhale helps you contract, root down. So if you want to go a little deeper, it might take moments to close your eyes as you move and really heighten your sense of touch, heighten your proprioception. finish the round that you're working on, keep that rhythm of your deep breath through your nose. It'll be a different pace than the woman next to you or the woman behind you or in front of you. Keep your own deep, steady breath. The next time you fold over your legs at the back of your mat, meet each other there. Clasp your hands together. Interlace your fingers. Put a little bend in your knees. Keep your breath big and exaggerated. That full massaging vibe in that breath. Massages your digestive organs. Massages your heart. You steady gaze over there. Reach your hands. Crawl your palms in front of your mat, downward facing dog. Press down into your hands and lift your hips up and back. Feel your ribs shift back towards your legs. Inhale, reach your right leg back up into you and bend your knee. Kick your heel towards your backside. Point your right knee up towards the ceiling. Exhale, bring your knee forward towards your nose and lightly step your right foot between your hands. Lower your back knee to the ground. Inhale your arms up, press in where you're on your knee. Press down into what touches the ground. Your back knee, your front foot, breathe in and lift your chest. Exhale, release your hands, straighten your front leg out, seated calf splits, fold over your long leg. Reach your toes back towards your face. Inhale, crawl your hands forward, rebend your front knee. Tuck your back toes, lift your back knee up and sweep your right hand towards the ceiling. Close the ceiling. You're turning your wrists over. Use that inhale to reach your top hand even higher and lift your front knee. Exhale, plant both hands, shift your hips up and back, downward facing dog. Inhale, reach your left leg high, and bend your knee and turn your hip over. Exhale, draw your knee forward, strength. Step your front foot to the front of your mat. Lower your back knee. Inhale your arms up, breathe in to lift your belly, open your hips. Exhale, straighten your front leg out and fold your wrists, seated half splits. Inhale, crawl your hands forward, rebend your front knee, lift your back knee and sweep your left hand high. It's your left foot that's forward, so that's the arm you reach up. You reach really high, up into it, breathe into it. Exhale, downward facing dog. Root through both your palms. Step your left foot down. Inhale, reach your right leg up. Bend and open. Use that inhale, get more space. Exhale, bring your knee forward. Step it through. So you start taking feel of rhythm here. Inhale, press in underneath. Exhale, sink back. Seated calf splits. Lengthen out your front leg. Inhale, crawl forward. Low twisting lunge. Reach that right arm high. Turn yourself open. Use the fullness of your hips. Exhale, downward. Inhale, open and reach. Exhale, step. Rhythm of your own full breathing. Inhale to reach up. Exhale, sink back, roll forward. Inhale, crawl forward. Find that deep bend in your knee and twist open. Left arm heels up. Exhale, move through both hands. Shift your way back to downward dog. Side to side lifts. Your Surya Namaskar V variation. Inhale, right leg lifts. Exhale, step your foot forward. Inhale to sweep your arms up. Exhale, sink back. Every movement has its own breath. Inhale, come forward, find your lunge and sweep your right arm high. Downward dog as you change sides. guys. Everybody keeping their own rhythm, their own pace. Push up whatever leg you're on. Follow your feet coming back. Do that same standing hold time to start with the neck. Clasp your neck on the floor or hold opposite elbow, which is kind of spot to unlock your knees. Give the weight of your upper body towards your legs. And with that, and shifting the bar away from one of the bottom, moving those strengths. Now back all the way through. Scoot your arms up over the head. Keep long through the whole side of your left, front and back, right and back. Exhale, hands press your stomach. Pull to the back. Bring the weight into your right foot. Inhale, bring your left heel towards your left leg. Draw your heel up. And lightly step your left foot all the way to the back of the mat. Stay on the ball of your left foot. Inhale your arms up alongside your ears. Press into your front foot. Even draw your tailbone down a little bit here and just feel that sensation, that awareness in your pelvis. If flexors start to engage, you can even feel your glutes. Reach your arms up and take big breaths into your sides. So that movement of your lungs, it doesn't just stay contained to your lungs. Sit your butt down a little bit. You feel your muscles getting cut around and open. Your body is long. General shape of the back. Exhale, reach your chest and arms forward. Lightning over. Every breath is breathing. Not everybody can see that space. Breathing in. Breath into your root. Feel that. Breath to your back, feel into your back leg. Deep breath. Inhale, sky arch. Gently hold your right wrist. Keep it up. Anchor down to your feet and breathe in to lengthen out. So all four edges of your feet touch. Get longer than both sides of your body. Exhale, turn both toes out, bend both knees, turn your heels in, goddess pose. Bring your hands to your inner thighs. This one, step your breath down and away under your spine. Feel your legs with confidence. Push down. Your legs getting strong. Push and pull. Draw your hips down. Just like your neck press, do it, drawing your elbow down and pulse that way. Stick your booty out and every person has a different natural curve of their spine. All those little bones that make up your spine are in good shape. So it's good to kind of move around in this posture. So stick your feet out a little, so you can shove them under and stretch out. Notice how it feels in your body. Notice the sensation that arises. Press down into your feet. Rock your tailbone over. A little lower than normal. Allow your breath to respond to that extra bit of fire action. Hands at your heart center. Exhale, twist your right elbow outside of your left thigh. Shift to a prayer fist all the way to the back of your mat. That right leg straight out. back leg and lift your breast bone. Every inhale, lift your breast bone towards your hand. Doesn't matter if you ever shift through. Just that energetic lift. Exhale, press down, lift your breast bone, pull your belly away from your thigh. So even if it's touching, get that activation where your belly comes back. Keep that bend in your left knee. Spin your right foot around. Inhale, reverse warriors. Keep your left arm up against your left knee. Just like that fire. Keep it deep bend in your left. Lower body moving one way. And your upper body lean close to your back. Exhale, bring your hands down to your left foot. Inhale, lift your right leg up, standing split. Let's get up a little hot. And then reach your right heel towards the ceiling. Walk your hands back where you're standing. Maybe one hand touches, maybe both hands can go again from the top of the table. Keep pressing and lifting through your left foot. That full active breath that helps narrow your focus to the core and to your back. One hand. Down, chair pose. Bend your knees and help reach your arms up. Keep your butt down and back. Away from that into your sleep your butt back even further to the tops of your thighs. Big spread the wings on your back. One more big inhale. Exhale, standing forward, fold over your legs, reach for your knees. Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, fold in your chin, bend your elbows, and pull breaths. Deep breaths. Use your arms to pull yourself into your Inhale, look up halfway. Exhale, release your mind, use your hips. Inhale, rise up to standing. Exhale, hands come together in front of your heart center. Anchor down to your left foot. Inhale, bring your right heel towards your right left knee. That balance and light weight, all that preparation, all that balance here. Step your lifted foot all the way back to your mat. Inhale, present. You take that gentle shape, find the full breath, and sink into it. Rock your butt out, breathe in, and lift your hips, lift your spine up. Union of opposites, allowing your body to sink into the lunge while still reaching up. Keep your strong lunge. Exhale. Reach your chest and your arms forward. So your arms back. As your fingers reach forward, as your chest reaches forward, press back to your feet. Union of opposites, you reach in opposite direction. Everything in between your fingers and your heels is a little stronger, a little more hot and muscular. heel, sweep your left arm up. Press down to your feet to make yourself tall. Over. Stand tall and lean. Exhale, turn your heels to the out. Bend your knees, press your hands down on your thigh and front press. Put your hands so that you are part of the inner sleep. Press with your hand. Make that inner sleep in your belly. Press down. Take your hands. Rock your tailbone down to feel that muscular feet with your body. Move down into the warmth of your muscles. Hands at your heart center. Pivot towards the front of your mat. Hook your left elbow outside and your right thigh. Press long with your left. Lift your breath from your belly. Rather than trying to achieve like everybody at the same angle, high, you practice the awareness out of achieve backward breath. Every time you stay together, just a little breath. Every time you let yourself take the focus down, exhale, you start to get strong. Warm, shaky, or this sensation comes up. Expand your awareness, expand what you're able to feel in your body. Reach up to the crown of your head, press up. Now reverse warrior, keep your lunge, keep your right arm against your right ear. Keep this extended in your front. This full exhale not only help you move back, help your legs expand. Each new sensation is awareness growing in your body. Feeling your feeling that just a little bit in your low belly. You exhale all the way out. Lay your hands down onto your right foot. Breathe in, lift your back leg up, press on to the ribs. Stand and sit. Almost like someone has a hold of your whole shape. Reach for your standing. Have yourself play and extension of your practice. The spirit of practice, that curiosity. So reach for your flow. That's it. Do this breath. You get the benefit just by time. It doesn't matter if some days are long. You gotta hold up your heel, bend your elbows and pull your face in. Chair pose. Awesome. Bend your knees. Bring your butt down and back. Inhale your arms up. Fist, deep breath all the way in. And that's your ankle, that's your fist. 5 seconds. 5 seconds. A little further down. Further down. Shake your head out, side to side, let your knees bend, hips unlock. Inhale, look up halfway, lengthen your spine out in front of you. Exhale, plant your hands, walk your feet to the back of your mat. You can take a vinyasa or simply lift to downward dog, your choice. There's always options. Settle your feet out, tune into your breathing, always tune into your breathing. Sometimes it's the only hour of the day where we take a breath on purpose. Inhale, reach your right leg up behind you. Exhale, lightly step your right foot to the front of your mat. Inhale, stand on your right foot, kick your left leg out in front of you, reach your arms up overhead. Tita Hasta, Padangusthasana, letter D. Deep, steady, even breath. Take your left thigh, wrap it on top of your right thigh. Bend both of your knees, eagle legs. Maybe tuck your left toes around your right calf. Some of you are already there. Take your left arm, wrap it under your right arm. And inhale, lift your elbows up, lift your fingers up, eagle pose. Stick with your active breathing. Stick your butt down and back, just like you do in your chair pose. Lift your fingers up, lift your elbows up. You need to pass your chin, feel your shoulders and your back. Unwind, reach your arms out in front of you, kick your left leg back behind you, airplane pose. Still balancing on your right foot. Biggest breath of God, and reach your fingers all the way out towards the windows, pulling yourself into opposite directions. Deep breath. Again, lift your back. Out with your hands, press back for your heel, deep breath. Exhale, knee behind knee, sit all the way down to a seated spinal twist. Left knee behind your right. Hook your left elbow outside of your right thigh. Sit up tall with your spine. Take a few big breaths through this length in your chest. Turn your chest in the other direction. So unwind, turn your chest towards where you came through. Walk your hands all the way to the back of your mat. Unwind, three-legged up, left leg is up high. You can always bend your knee over your hip, feel your knee move, your ankle roll. Exhale, lightly step your left foot between your hands. Inhale, Tita Hasta, letter D. Shift your weight out of your left foot, arms overhead for this one, and kick your right leg out in front of you. Deep, steady breathing. So now lift through your sternum, the length in your whole body. Pressing down into the hook you're standing on to help you lift and stand a little tall. Help yourself up, kick your breath. Exhale, take your lifted thigh, wrap it on top of your standing thigh. Eagle legs, sit your butt down first, so center your hips back. Feel that brace with your legs. Wrap your right elbow under your left. Eagle arms, pull your fingers up, lift your elbows up. Wonderful, guys. Pull your feet up for your muscles, for your nervous system. You stay anchored in your breath, you can get a little closer to that edge, a little closer to that place where any more really would be too much. But any less, you can space out. Sink your butt down with your exhale, lift your fingers up, reach your elbows up. And then breathe into all that space between your hips and your shoulders. Pull this breath. Press into your left foot. Inhale, warrior three. Kick your right leg back on you. Reach your arms out in front of you. If you've got that wall in front of you, press into it. Feel that strength in your arms and press into the wall. Kick to your back heel. Use your breath to help lift your chest. Use the muscles in your back body. All those hips sensations. It's not just for the strength of your body, which is a beautiful, great thing, but every sensation you feel, even the slightest sensation, the warmth of your exhale, it's the expansion of awareness in your body. Reach through your arms. Reach forward and lift your back heel. Take this breath. Exhale, knee behind knee, sit all the way down, seated spinal twist. Turn your ribs all the way towards your left thigh. Walk your hands towards your right hip, all the way towards the front of the room. So you unwind. Keep that left foot gently tapped. Right as you come to this, you can let it down dog. Bend your knee, open your hip. Exhale, bring your right knee forward towards your right wrist for pigeon pose. Lower your left knee to the ground. And take an inhale and lift up with your chest. Sink your weight down into that stretch of your hips and your groin. Exhale, crawl your hands forward. Settle onto your forearms. Let your chest settle, let your forehead settle. Slowly start to crawl your hands back towards your hips. Come onto the very tips of your fingers to lift your chest, feel the arch in your back. Plant your palms, tuck your left toes. Inhale, reach your right leg up behind you. Move in your own way. You can bend and open through your hip, wiggle your toes. At your own pace, you set your right foot down. Bring your left knee forward to change sides. Give yourself at least one big breath to inflate your chest. Settle into your hips and then crawl forward. slowly walk your hands down. Exhale, cover your left sacrum on your left butt cheek and circle both legs. Roll all the way over and down. Full breath in from bottom to top, side to side. Open your mouth. Open your mouth, stick your tongue out, exhale. Stretch the jaw. I know you guys I'm Katy. If you have any questions, let me know. So before Terry comes up, we can do very fast. Don't feel like you can overdo it. You can leave it by the hanging craft.
Hi guys, that was awesome. I'm so glad that we were able to tap into New York with Katy. Unfortunately, sound wasn't our best friend. Oh, really well. Katy's giving me a little thumbs up here. We'll have some feedback with Katy if she has a moment after this. Loved class. So much positive to share. Thanks for hopping in the chat room. It was really great to connect with you guys. If you want to just wait a few moments, otherwise you're more than welcome to unmute yourself and we can join in a conversation about class. I'm going to mute Katy. There we go. Megan, Lisa, Amy, were any of you guys able to practice? Oh, yes. Still, Katy can't hear me, so I'm gonna text her real quickly.
Hi everyone. It's
Hi.
Lisa. I can't put my camera on because I'm driving, so you guys are on speaker.
It's good that you're being safe. I'm so glad you could still hop in, Lisa. Thank you so much for being here.
Thank you so much. I saw the first half of class and then like listened to the other half, but oh my god, I freaking love her so much.
I know.
I love how she was right in there with everyone. I don't teach root a lot, right? So I loved how she had her hands on people in Sun C. You know, she was like, you could just see that she was like with them. And I loved, like, I've taken class from her before and I've gotten adjustments from her and she's amazing. So I was very jealous of all of the touch.
Cool. Megan, Amy, do you guys have anything you want to add about what the experience was like for you?
I'm afraid to go unmute because of my kids and dogs. So
oh, it's all good.
Well, he was laying on top of me in Shavasana. So that was just no to echo what Lisa said, just her whole energy and vibe and connection. And it could have been a class, I think, of 100 or however many people were there. Like she was involved with each person and such in a compassionate, confident way. So really inspirational.
Cool. I want to go on record on the recording too that the sound was a little wonky because the mic wasn't working today. So we may have to do this again with Katy. We're doing flow with her. I think maybe she's doing under next week, then flow again coming up soon. Got a couple on the schedule, but I definitely want to find a time maybe where we read you root if that would be in Katy's within Katie's schedule, if she's able to do that, because it was just so lovely to hear those nuggets when we were able to hear her. Amy, did you have anything you wanted to share? Can you hear us?
Hello.
Hi.
Hi. Can you hear me okay?
Yeah, we totally can hear you.
I'm having sound issues. So lovely, beautiful class. I was so excited to get to be here today and to hear to Katie. I didn't get to practice, but it looked like it felt good.
Awesome. I'm so glad to see your face and see your name and hear your voice today. This is awesome to have you here.
I'm so happy. I finally have a day where I get to be here. I just have to find somewhere to stand so you don't see my house.
Okay.
Hey guys.
Looks like Katie's here. Katie, can you hear us?
Wait, I can almost hear you. I'm not great with the tech. Wait.
Okay.
Wait, no, I turned you down.
Can you hear us?
Wait. I can hear that there is voices. Okay. Can you hear me?
We can hear you. Can you hear us?
Yes, I can.
Yay! Katie, we were just talking about how much we love class. That was awesome.
Oh, thank you guys so much. I have one of my teachers here, Aaliyah.
Oh, great.
Just in the corner.
How are you?
Hey, Aaliyah.
Been around.
So, yeah, I don't know how to do this stand thing super great.
You
Yeah.
can easily can. I'll be over here back.
Katie, do you want to do some feedback?
Yes, please.
Cool.
I don't normally teach root, so I was really excited to get the chance to, it was like a little edgy for me, a little vulnerable, because it's not something I get to teach every week. And so I really appreciated the opportunity to do that, especially in front of you guys, and get some feedback. So,
That's surprising to me. So before we get in, I want to let you know who everyone is on the call. So Megan is here from Georgia, Megan Gavin. Amy is here from Chicagoland, close to Chicagoland. And then Lisa Gonzalez from New Jersey is on as well. She's driving, but you can't see her face.
okay, I saw a little picture of her smiling. And I was
Yeah.
Like, oh.
Hi, Katie.
Yeah, Lisa.
Hi, Katie.
Hey guys, thanks for joining.
We loved it. So we'll start, Katie, let's just start with what really worked well. We'll start with positives, and then we'll go around, and then we'll come back to areas for growth.
Okay, things that I thought my playlist worked really well. I thought that it fit in the parameters of root as they are currently, and that it matched the arc of the class and helped keep people energized and motivated and connected to where they were at in the practice. And I liked my Sun B. I thought it was simple and grounding, and effective. And I really probably a third of our population, English is their second language. They don't speak English at all. And so I love finding simple, effective things, simple, effective little versions of Sun A and B. And I liked that. I didn't think it was too simple, that it was boring, but it was simple enough for everybody to feel connected to.
Cool. Aaliyah, would you like to share something?
Totally agreed completely with the music. I also thought she spoke well on just, body parts, sinking into your hips, grounding, rooting down, all those great adjectives I think are really beneficial in root. And just those slight tidbits of words of inspiration. I think she balanced moments of silence with, speech as well, I think really effectively, that everyone felt, and great hands-on adjustments as well. I think she went around and touched everyone felt connected, which is great to do in a small class. So yeah.
Cool. Megan, I'm going to turn over to you. Do you have anything you want to share?
Sure. I'm almost shocked that you don't teach root regularly, because the whole vibe and energy that you were giving was so perfect for it, because there was no rush. I think a lot of teachers who come from either teaching flow or different vinyasa styles, they tend to go a little too fast, and I practiced along pretty much the whole class along. It just felt so good and slow, and take it at your own pace, but there was never a feeling of take it on your pace and go for it. It was just listen to your breath. The cues of your breath, where you had so many different nuggets of what we could hear. I know that there was microphone issues that were just a different way of thinking of the breath. One of my favorite was inflate your chest. just ways of people to really latch on to what you're asking them to do with the depth of the breath. So excellent. I'm so excited I can use your playlist next week for my class. So
Cool. Amy, do you have something anything you'd like to share?
I am just excited to be here, and I love and one thing that drew me to this one particularly is whenever I see the name Katy Lloyd, or I hear Katy Lloyd, or I see her face, I slow down and I have a warm feeling and I breathe. So the amazing presence that she has and the effect that she has on people is wonderful. And I could see that in her touch. She did get to everybody. Beautiful use of silence and just allowing people to be as they are on their mat today, which just gives me chills. And I just love that about her. And you could see that in this class. So it was beautiful. Thank you.
So good to see you, Amy.
Good to see you.
Lisa, do you want to share anything? I know you got to watch the first half and listen to the second.
Yeah, so Katy, thank you so much. Can you guys hear me okay?
We can.
Okay, cool. So I loved how you were right there with your students, and I shared before that how you like touch them in Sun C. So again, like rude is not something I teach often, and I love that you paired your verbal cues, which were all so good and so clear and concise, but with touch. So I felt like it just made them feel it more. You were like right there touching them when you were speaking to the body. I loved all the silence at the end and in yin. And I think I'm so glad you mentioned the music, because I hear a lot of people say, oh, root music's boring, because there's no words. But your music, like even in Sunday, it had such a good beat that I wouldn't be bored if it like that was a great playlist. And I think people get stuck that it's got to be like boring music. And that was like all really well thought out and energizing, if that makes sense.
Thanks.
So thank you.
I hope I articulate myself well enough, Katy, here, because I've been trying to kind of piece together my thoughts and feelings and words. Here goes nothing. I have to kind of echo what Amy said. I've met you for a brief moment in time, and I get that same feeling, that same sense of peace and calm. There's just something really beautiful about how you show up for other people. And it's never in a way that you are deterring or deflecting or taking away from like who you are and what you are experiencing. There's just such a grounded presence, and you practice your yoga, you practice this is your life. You can feel that. You can feel that you live, breathe what you preach, and you're able to hold space because of who you are and how you show up for others. And so I just felt that through the camera today. It was just really powerful to see such a beautiful experience kind of unfold. It's again, like Megan said, surprising to me that this is like, something you don't teach very often, because it felt very natural and very experienced to me. Doorway wise, everything was just simply right there. It was just, very, very wonderfully woven together. Nothing felt like choppy or like, here's our first doorway, here's our second. It felt like it all was woven so wonderfully together. But overall, I just think my biggest takeaway is just your language, your presence, your touch, just everything you had to offer was just really generous, without being what's the word I'm looking for, without taking away from you being you and being in your own space. It was just really beautiful. I have a lot to take away today, so thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah. Cool. Let's do ops for growth. We'll start with you, Katy.
Okay, ops for growth. My biggest stop for growth is I was a little, and Aaliyah was here, I was a little like all over the place in the beginning. We tested out the sound. I had my young friend who's a lifeguard. He's like 21. He's like, he knows all the tech. And so yesterday he was helping me figure it out, and it was working. And then the second you got on, the sound wasn't working. And so I felt a little this like bubbly anxiety in the beginning, kind of like leak into class. And so just even with the anxiety that technology can bring up in me, just taking a few moments to really like ground myself is always an opportunity for growth. When I feel that, I don't often really feel that here. And then I have a couple. So then I think that for igniting the spirit, I could have done something a little more dynamic or slightly more complex for igniting the spirit. I had them be like that cat pose and then inhale into a supported side plank and then exhale into cat pose. And I either think I could have cued that more centrally or I could have done something a little more dynamic, maybe adding like one more posture in there so they could feel more movement through their hips. And I think the next biggest one would be planning the stoke a little more. Like I anchored it around the eagle, which I was interpreting as the journey pose. Because I'm like, okay, we'll take 5 big breaths to like get them into eagle. They'll feel the transition. And then the rest of the stoke came and the logs came after that. And I just wasn't sure how effective it was. It was a little improvised. I had planned something slightly different. So I'm hoping that that was effective, but I think coming in with like a firmer plan and sticking to it could be more beneficial for this format.
Okay. Aaliyah.
Yeah, I just sensing Katy's anxiety. Yeah, I just think that really long pause of silence was her. I think you did it beautifully, but yeah, deep breaths in the beginning, you know, child's pose, and then maybe just say one word of breath and then give us like a long silence then. And I think another opportunity for the sun sea portion, it was very challenging for me just for like I just feel like maybe after that goddess pose a forward fold to give our bent knees a little bit of a break because it was just a lot of hip openers in the knees. Thighs were on fire for sure. So I would say it was definitely a more challenging root class, which I personally don't mind, but I think maybe someone at the beginning would be like, okay, this is hard and maybe have a hard time finding benefits in it. Yeah, so just a little bit of a break in between the lunges. Yeah.
Great. I'll turn it over to you, Megan, if you have anything to share that hasn't been said already.
No, I was just going to echo the in the sense because I was doing it too. It was a lot of load on the leg for that one section from goddess to prayer twist to reverse warrior, and so every week I get at least 3 or 4 brand new yogis in root, and so just keeping them in mind like that, like she said, like that would just be super challenging, especially for the legs. But you know, but all the poses and seated flow really nicely from one to the other.
Cool. Amy, Lisa, either of you have any ops for growth that you want to share?
I think I just have a clarification for the journey pose. Is that supposed to be in Sun Sea, or can it be after Sun Sea? So like eagle was technically logs, correct?
Yeah, eagle was logs. And that's a great question. I would also like to know the answer.
As it stands in the format guide right now, journey pose lives in Sun Sea.
See, gotcha. Okay.
Yep.
And then was there a breakdown? Like, there's the breakdown pose that's after play in the fire. I don't know because again, I'm listening, so I didn't see. So, I mean, after stoke, was there a breakdown after the stoke?
And I maybe misinterpreted the format guide, but I was thinking that the journey pose was the breakdown pose. Something that takes longer to get into and has like different steps to get into. But
Gotcha.
So I can get some clarification on all that. I'm glad that we're having this conversation because I'm sure if we're feeling it, someone else is too. Let me kind of put pause on that, and after we're done with feedback, I'll kind of just highlight kind of the pillars there. Lisa, do you have any other ops for growth before we move on to Amy?
I would just say maybe like I loved the stoke, but maybe a pose less so they can hold it a little bit more. I feel like root, from my impression, is supposed to be like more of a mini lag, and I felt that because there were so many poses strung together in the lag that it felt almost like another mini flow. So maybe just taking like one out and staying in the other ones longer. That's the only thing I can think of. It was such a good class.
Thanks, Lisa.
Yeah.
Miss Amy, do you have anything, my friend?
Everybody, can you hear me okay? Okay, there we go. There, it turned screen. I'm not good with the Zoom thing. Everybody pretty much hit on all the little things that I had caught as well. The only other thing is in the beginning, and I wrote down a ton of cues. Thank you, Katy. Was just repeating some of the cues over and over, and that was in the beginning. And that might have been when you were in your, just trying to settle yourself in as well. And I mean, that is totally nitpicking. It wasn't overused, but I caught a couple things, but they were the good cues that you repeated. So, and I wrote them down. I surely did, and can't wait to utilize those. But thank you.
Amy.
Cool. The only thing that comes up for me, Katy, is the element of touch. So you were helping with obviously your hands-on, and you were there physically to share, but giving the students the option or the ability to utilize their hands, their element of touch, so that they can feel sensation, not just through your beautiful cues, but through tapping into feeling their own muscles and the engagement, where you cue that and where you focus. So for example, I know that we've talked about, at least Tori and I have recently talked about touch pose being a part of Sun A a little bit, but mostly in Sun C. So and I don't know if it was maybe a sound thing too, I could hear bits and pieces, but more touch element for exploration, kind of fun time. To kind of highlight what you guys were talking about, because we've been talking about root a lot lately within the MT team, and I think it's really good to clarify. So there's a touch pose in Sun A. It's a lot of this it's not like if you don't do it, it's not like you're off brand, right? Like I don't want to make it sound like it's like yoga police, like tapping down, but these are just like what it says in the format guide and how we're kind of structuring the class. So touch pose in Sun A, there's a touch pose in Sun C. The journey pose does lie in Sun C, and it can be, I know people who've done 2 journey poses in Sun C, not just 1, but 2. So it's a really fun time to explore and have fun. There are a couple ways you can do the journey pose that we've kind of discovered. And the first one is to take like all 5 breaths to get into that specific shape. Or the other one is to take each individual inhale and exhale and make them an active movement. So example of the first one would be like pyramid, taking the entire time to fold in. Example of the second one would be like extended side angle, using the opportunity to inhale, reach forward, exhale, bring your right elbow down, inhale, left arm high. So every part of the breath gets like a cue in it. So that's kind of the clarification around the journey pose. And then we have Stoke the Fire, which like Lisa said, is more like a junior log. So it's not held as long, but it's still edgy, especially for, maybe brand new people or people with injury. And then a Play in the Fire section, which is, 3 different success points or places where people can feel like they can find engagement and then don't necessarily have to move on within a what we call it like skill pose, right? So it's more of a posture that might be a challenge to play with variation versus duration, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Does that clarify the questions that were brought up?
Yeah, so those are all separate things. I think I didn't have firm boundaries on some of those things, so it does help.
Yeah. And again, like I wouldn't consider like this class like not like an off-brand class. I think that there is obviously always ops for growth, but it felt, like I said earlier, Katy, very much like you hit every doorway and you're moving through, and your timing was impeccable as well. I want to comment on that. Root is a challenging one to figure out timing for. So I want to share that too. That's all that I have. Do you guys have any other questions or thoughts or things you want to share before we let Katy and Aaliyah go have their beautiful sunshiny afternoon in New York?
Katy, I love you and I miss you.
I love you, Lisa. I know you need to come visit soon, hopefully.
I'm going to, I promise. I know I feel like I always say that, but I really do promise.
Yeah, I can't wait.
Katy, thanks for the time today. We'll connect for sure. I think next week you're leading a surrender. So I might get you in touch with Lisa and figure out some mic stuff. We might do like a mic check prior so we can figure out how that works, because I will admit I'm not a techie person at all. So I am of no help in that realm. But we'll see you for surrender. And then I think in a couple weeks after that, for some flow, right? Is that correct?
Yeah.
Okay, good. I'm really excited. Thanks for the time. Thanks for the energy. Aaliyah, very nice to meet you. Thank you for being in class today.
Pleasure.
All right. I love you all.
Love you guys.
Bye.
Thank you so much.
Bye. Thank you.